Today I'm going to teach you step by step how to make this easy bunny spring wreath using the Dollar Tree grapevine bunny frame. Welcome to Stillwater's Wreath Designs. Come on in. Before we dive into our design today, friends, let me just take a quick moment to welcome anyone new here to the channel. Stillwater's Wreath Designs is all about step-by-step wreath and door swag tutorials. You'll find new tutorials uploading every single week. If you like that sort of thing, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button below and join us. For my friends who have been here on the channel for a while, thank you for coming back. I so appreciate you. You'll find a full materials list for you below in the description of this video so that you'll have everything you need to recreate this beauty. Of course, if you'd rather just purchase it, I'll leave a link for my Etsy shop below as well. Go ahead and plug in your hot glue gun and let's talk about what we're going to build today's design on. So this is actually the 26-inch bunny wreath frame that comes from the plus section of the Dollar Tree. It's got some chicken wire on the background here and a pretty decent little hanger. And so we're going to dress this guy up to make a super cute door hanger in about 15 minutes. So while our hot glue gun is heating up, guys, let me just show you the florals that we're going to use in today's creation. This bunch actually came from Hobby Lobby. Let's see. It's item number 1080175. It's just a single floral bush with lots of different shades of pink, orange, and yellow little flowers and variegated greenery. And so those colors are how I determined what ribbon to use. I've just grabbed 3 rolls of 1.5-inch wired ribbon that coordinate with our flowers. So let's scoot our bunny off to the side and make our bow. Generally, I make my bows by hand, but because I'm nursing an injury, we're going to use the bow dabra today. If you're not familiar with the bow dabra, it's just a tool to help you make bows. This is what it looks like. It's plastic. It's got a wand that runs down the center, also a center split for adding ribbon. I'm also going to grab a ruler, my pair of scissors, and a 6-inch clear zip tie. You could also use a pipe cleaner or floral wire if that's your preference. So we're going to start with our yellow 1.5-inch ribbon. And so we're going to measure out 8-inch tails. You can use your self-healing mat to measure that out or just a standard ruler. So I've identified that 8-inch mark. I'm pinching my ribbon. I'm going to give that a hard twist and run that right down the center of my bow dabra. And I want 4-inch loops, guys, so I'm going to actually measure out to the 8-inch mark. I'm going to pinch that ribbon, and then when I fold that over onto itself, it'll become a 4-inch loop. I'm going to give that a hard twist because we always want that pretty side up. We're going to measure out another 8 inches to give us that 4-inch loop. Give that ribbon a pinch. Run that down into our bow dabra. And if you want to double check your loops, guys, just to make sure they're the same size, you can fold them up onto themselves like so, and as long as they meet in the same spot approximately, your loops are good to go. And we'll measure out an 8-inch tail. Okay, for the next ribbon, I'm going to add the hot pink with Swiss polka dots, and I'm going to use my first ribbon as my guide. Guys, you're welcome to measure if that's easier for you. So we're going to continue with those 8-inch tails, but reduce our loops by about 1/2 inch or so for each ribbon stack. So we're doing the 2 loops and 2 tails again. As you can see, that's about 1/2 inch shorter. We'll go ahead and run that tail out so that it's basically as long as that previous tail and cut off that ribbon. I'm going to use my bow dabra arm just to press and condense down on that ribbon stack. Then we're going to move on to the orange with white polka dot. Again, approximately 8 inches worth of a tail. Hard twist so that pretty side is up. So you want that orange ribbon to, again, be about 1/2 inch shorter. then our hot pink loops, and again 2 loops and 2 tails. We'll run that tail out approximately the same length as the previous and cut that guy off. And we're going to with another layer of the Swiss polka dot. So we'll run out our approximate 8-inch tail. We're going to give that a hard twist so it's pretty side out. You can make these loops basically the same length as the orange. And again, about 1/4 of an inch smaller on those loops. So we've made those 2 loops and 2 tails of our Swiss polka dot again. We'll run those tails out at that same approximate 8-inch marker. And we're going to make a single loop with our yellow. So I'm going to make these tails about 2 inches or so shorter than all the other tails. So I've run the ribbon down. I'm going to make a single loop. And as you can see, that loop's probably 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Running that tail out at about 6 inches in length. And then that's it for our bow ribbon stack. So we'll take our bow dabber arm here. We're going to press down on this ribbon stack. Really condense that together. You'll want to have your zip tie or floral wire or pipe cleaner handy so that we can secure our bow, and we're going to gently lift this guy up out of the bow dabber, keeping that stack nicely condensed, and then we'll secure our bow stack. You're going to want to pull that tight, and then trim off that excess bit of zip tie. Before we fluff out our bows, guys, I'm going to go ahead and trim my tails, and I'm going to just angle trim. You're welcome to dovetail if you prefer. And we're going to trim every single tail. Now that we've got those ends all trimmed, I'm just going to pull all of my tails down, and we'll worry about the loops in just a short bit. So once you've got all of your tails going in the right direction, we're going to just do a quick rough fluff of our bow. And I always start at the bottom. First, I pull my loops where I want them. There's no right or wrong way to do this, guys. You're welcome to fluff your bow how you wish. So I'm just kind of making an X pattern here with those back 2 loops. I'm pulling an X with the next layer. And then we've got our little single loop in the middle. Once you've got your loops where you want them, just go ahead and open them up. So you're literally just making a circle. And not looking for perfection here, guys. We're going to fluff this guy out the way we want it. Once we get it into our door hanger, we just want an idea of what this beauty is going to look like so that we can start positioning. All right, now that we've got the rough fluff done, let's bring our florals and our bunny to our work area. You're going to want this round hanger on the back side of your bunny wreath so that you or your customer hang that up on the door. So now it's time to prepare our florals. We're just going to cut off this price tag here. And I'm going to use this entire bush. There are 11 stems on our bush. And so what I'm going to do, guys, is just trim this, each and every stem off the bush, about 2 inches or so below where the greenery ends. It's a heavy duty floral. We'll have to use our big cutters for this guy. All right, so we've got 11 stems here. And what my vision is for this design is to add our bow off to the side of our bunny's neck here and have a floral spray on either side. And so what I'm going to do is just lay my florals back and forth just like this so that that 2-inch stem that we cut kind of meets in the middle. And remember, we had 11 stems from that bush. I'm going to hold one off to the side. So now that we've got our 10 stems laying alternatingly into a little swag pile, I'm going to grab a 12-inch zip tie and just run that underneath. And then we're going to cinch these guys all together. And before you cinch it 100%, just make sure all of your florals are tucked into that zip tie. And then cinch that guy basically as tight as you can get it. And then trim off that excess bit of zip tie. So we've just made like a miniature floral swag. Once I do that, friends, I like to take my hot glue gun and just run a couple of stripes of glue right over that zip tie. We'll give it a couple of minutes to dry, and then we'll flip this floral swag over and do the same thing to the back side. Once your floral swag is dry, set that guy off to the side a little bit and bring your bunny base back into your work area. And you're going to grab a standard 12-inch pipe cleaner. I grabbed a brown that matches the grapevine pretty well, so it blends in nicely. Of course, you could also use a zip tie or a floral wire if that's your preference. And what we're going to do here, guys, is wrap this right around the center of our swag. And then just give it a couple of tight twists so it doesn't go anywhere. It should be right on top of that glue. And then we're going to add this guy to our bunny. So you can add it anywhere you'd like, in the center or off to either side. I'm going to come in here off to the left. And we're going to secure this guy right around that bunny's frame here. And so I'm going to pull that as tight as I can get it. And give it 4 or 5 super tight twists. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess bit of my pipe cleaner here. And I'm going to push that little tail right under and out of the way, just like that. So now our floral swag is nice and attached. So it just quickly came together super cute. Now the next thing we need to do is attach our bow. And so we've done the rough fluff. We're going to lay that single button loop off to the side, grab another matching pipe cleaner and run that right around our bow stack. We're going to cinch it up really tight and give it a couple of twists. And now we're going to layer this right on top of the center of our floral swag, right where that glue is, and attach our bow. So we're going to hold that guy in place. Flip it over and cinch up that pipe cleaner. And again, you could also use floral wire or zip ties if that's your preference. Once you've tightened that and twisted that 4 or 5 times, just go ahead and trim off those excess bits and just push down and tuck away that little tail. All right. Now it's time to fluff out our florals and our bow. So remember, our florals are on a wire stem, which means you can bend them and shape them any way you want. So take a couple of minutes and fluff out your florals. I'm just going to basically bring them to life a little bit, have them going in all different directions. Once you've fluffed out your florals, go ahead and do a final fluff with your bow. And again, I'm just opening loops, waking this bow up. I always start on the bottom, but that's personal preference. You can fluff your bow however you would like. And then that center little button loop is going to go right over the middle, just like that. And then with our tails, I like to take my fingers and just run them up and over those tails to give them a little curve. So I'm basically just pulling them to the ceiling to get some curve. How stinking cute is this guy? Now remember, we had reserved one of our floral stems in case we needed some filler, which I feel like we need some right in here. I'm gonna trim this guy in half. And then add these 2 pieces in. So I'm going to run some hot glue right there on that stem, about 1 inch or so worth. I'll scooch those tails out of the way. I'm just poking that right down into the grapevine. And then of course you can bend it a little bit if you'd like to really perk that guy up and give it some life. And just like that, guys, we have made a super cute Easter bunny door hanger in less than 15 minutes. I sure hope you enjoyed creating this with me today. If you did, be sure to give this tutorial a thumbs up. It really helps my little channel to grow. Thanks for spending time with me today, friends. Happy crafting.